Namaste. Welcome to this Learn to Self-Heal video, and today's subject is about the 7 chakras which run alongside the spine in front of the body. So the reason I wanted to teach you about chakras is they are very, very strongly linked to your healing. And I always have this age-old saying of knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you understand, the more you have tools to work with in order to help you on this self-healing journey. So understanding the chakras, I learned about these when I did my yoga teacher's training, and it's one of the best things I ever learned. I've kept those teachings with me, the ancient philosophical teachings, and they just really, really help me. And it gives you another link, another dynamic, another area to reference to in order to understand yourself more. And these teachings are mighty, mighty powerful. So it's really, really useful learning about this. So I'm going to teach you about all 7 chakras across the body. So fasten your seatbelts, sit back and relax. And the aim of this video is also to get you in tune and tapping into your energies and understanding the frequencies inside your body, and also healing. So this video is actually going to help you to heal and hopefully balance out all these chakras, as we're going to do little exercises for each individual one as well, which is exciting. So I'm going to keep looking this way because I've got all my lovely notes here. I don't want to miss out on one piece of information to tell you about this. So chakras. So chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel, something that's turning, something that's producing this sort of movement. And the idea behind these wheels inside your body or outside your body, I'll explain that in a bit more detail in a second. The idea is we want to keep them moving, we want to keep them turning. And when we get blockages inside of our body, inside of our mind, inside of our well-being, these wheels don't turn so much, they get a little bit stuck. So we want to keep these wheels lubricated and turning, and by doing these exercises and by understanding these areas a bit more, we're able to keep it lubricated. So that is the Sanskrit word for chakra, is wheel. And what are they? What are chakras? So chakras are the doorways of communication between our individual structure and the universe. So the bigger picture, what's going on outside of yourself. So it's understanding, if we're to work along the lines of this is happening for a reason, then this communication from outside to in, inside to out, there's this balance, and it works through your chakras. Okay, they hold different vibrations, so each individual chakra has its own story, so to speak. So they hold different vibrations, different frequencies, characteristics, colours, which I'll talk about in a second. And they are designed to be in order for a reason. So again, when we're understanding, well, why is this colour down there, and why is that element there, and why is this element up here, it all interlinks with one another. It all comes into a reason once you understand everything. So yeah, I'm going to get cracking because there's so much. You're probably sat there thinking, can you get on with it? Where are they? Now, there's loads of different theories with this, so I'm just going to give you a generalisation of this because you might feel into it slightly differently, but the location of these chakras are basically alongside your spine. So some believe that they're actually sitting inside of the body, others believe they sit about a couple of inches in front of the body in our sort of aura, so to speak. Others believe they sit a little bit behind you, but they're basically alongside the spine, and they're located from bottom all the way up. All right, and why are they helpful to understand? So the goal of the individual is to consciously attune to the beneficial energies of the universe. The universe is inside you. It's everything, it's nothing, it's inside you, it's outside you, it's everywhere, it's nowhere. Am I making myself clear? Probably not. But yeah, I'm going to say this sentence again because it's a good one that I wrote down. The goal of the individual is to consciously attune to the beneficial energies of the universe. So when we're wanting to absorb the good stuff from the universe, this is going to work through your chakras. Your chakras are the doorways from the universe into you. Okay, the theory is that all disease is a result of a disturbance of energy. And this is a theory that I really work very, very strongly with my own self-healing and when I'm helping others as well. There's a disturbance somewhere, and it's about locating that disturbance and doing something about it, okay? By understanding your energy system, you can help piece together problems and then the solution. So that's what I was just talking about. You can learn to take control and amplify their power in order to seek balance or peace, love and joy. Okay, so like I say, knowledge is power, and when you understand more about you as an individual, more about what your body's doing, what your mind's doing, what your emotions are doing, why they're doing it, why it feels out of balance, the more you understand about you, the more you can do something about it, the more you can either respect those boundaries, the more you can work with it. So that's what I'm saying, this knowledge is power. You can amplify the powers inside you, the powers of these chakras, and help them to balance out so that you can achieve that feeling of peace, that feeling of balance quickly, or more quickly than you would have done if you hadn't have known that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to these individual chakras now and help to balance them out for you as well. So I'm going to be saying some funny names, but I will translate it for you. Now, we go right to the start. When we read a story, we go right to the beginning. So we're going to be starting with the first chakra to your system. And this chakra is located right at the base of the spine. The idea is this chakra actually points down. So this one is called the Muladhara chakra, also known as the root chakra. So Mula means root, Adhara means support, so it's this root support. So a really good way of picturing is, if you're picturing a tree, it is going to be the roots of the tree. That is your Muladhara chakra. So we start right at the beginning, at the foundations, okay? The element we're working with is earth, the earth beneath your feet, which is a lovely steady vibration. The colour is red. So some people like to feel into colours, some people like to work with that visualisation, but yes, the colour we're working dominantly here is red. And the exact location of this area is right between your anus and your sexual organs. No, pointing down. So I'll go into more detail in a second, but as they say, traditionally your chakras face outwards of the body, but your root chakra actually faces down. And the reason why this is, it's always pointing down towards its element, which is earth, the earth element. So it's basically right near your genitals, but it's pointing down, okay? And that's the area. So anytime I'm going to be talking about this, every time I'm educating you about this, I really want you to send your awareness to where I'm telling you this location is, because again, that's going to trigger some energy, that's going to trigger some getting to know you, getting to know these feelings and sensations. So that's where I want you to bring your awareness, is right down there at the bottom of your spine, facing down. Now, the way the chakra is painted, so that's lovely, is they all have these different images as well, and the way this chakra is painted is it's got 4 petals. So these chakras represent a lotus bud and its journey, and the petals, that each one has a different amount of petals, and the petals increase as we go up the spine, as we talk about more chakras. So this is the one with the least amount of petals, so it's got 4 petals of its lotus bud, and these represent now when I was researching into this, they actually represent different things, but I'm going to keep it simple, and it represents the compass, which is the directions of north, south, east and west. Okay, so your Muladhara chakra is where we draw vitality and strength. Okay, so it's your vital forces, and again, imagine the roots of a tree. You know, it's absorbing up all the nutrients, it's absorbing up its life, the vitality. So think about that, your roots are drawing in to feed your health and your well-being, okay? okay? This is the place of stability, patience, big one, security, and rigidity. So it's the foundations of who you are. So if you were to build a house from scratch, the foundations are what make the house strong. If you've got weak foundations, so if you're starting out this house on the earth, if it's not secured down, then that's the area that's going to make the rest of the house unstable. So the foundations of your house, of building a house, that needs to be strong and structured well. It's exactly the same principle with your Muladhara chakra. This is the foundations of who you are, that root. So anything that's going to feel an imbalance in your root chakra tends to have a knock-on effect of the rest of your energies working up the body. So it's the easiest one to draw yourself to work with, because it goes right back to the beginning, goes right back to the basics. So you're always going to find working on your Muladhara chakra is a great place to start, because we want to get that place nice and healthy and comfortable, and then the rest tend to iron out as well. Okay, so yes, when this area is feeling in balance, when it's feeling good, then you're feeling stable, you're feeling patient, you're not wanting to rush into things, you're working with the earth here, okay, you know, that earth element, so you're feeling patient, you're feeling nice and secure in your own skin, in your own mind, in your own self. So it's very, very interesting how insecure we can feel as human beings, how we pass that insecurity on to other people, especially partners, those of you that are in a relationship or a partnership, and how we can push those insecurities onto other people, how we find that we seek security from someone else and from other things as well. So on an even grander scale as well, other than just other people, from other places as well. So you might find even your own home. That's why it's important not to put your securities on materialistic things and other people. You really want to find that security in yourself. And it's interesting when my husband and I went traveling, and your backpack very much becomes your security. It's where your items of everything is. You know, you lose that, you feel like you've lost your lifeline. But it's amazing how we downsize from living in a house with all these luxuries around us to just our backpack. And even though we transitioned our security into the backpack, it was really interesting to meet other travelers and talk to them, and they are in the same boat. You know, what we were learning is that our security is in our own skin. And in our own selves. It didn't matter where we were, what happened, we were okay, we had our health. And that really is working with the foundations of this chakra. So if you feel drawn to go travelling, I can't recommend it enough. But yes, this security, let it come from within and in your own skin, and not relying for external people and materialistic things to give you that security. Let it be here in the foundations of you. When this chakra is out of balance, we can feel paranoia. So that's when the pendulum of your emotions, when it tends to feel into this huge worried state of paranoid. You're paranoid about everything because your security doesn't feel secure. And also laziness, that's when the pendulum swings right the other way, and then we're too relaxed and too grounded in ourselves. And laziness isn't a very good thing. It's not a very good energy. It can come across very negative to other people, but also it doesn't serve you as well as a person. So laziness is a big one when this area is out of balance. So I'm going to come into an exercise now to help us to ignite this area. And what I'm going to be doing is teaching you something called the Mula Bandha. So the Mula Bandha is an exercise where we engage certain muscles in the body. They tend to be quite hidden. They tend to be ones that aren't very traditional that you're used to engaging, but they are strongly linked to that chakra. So they are located right where that chakra is. So it takes a while to get used to it, because you might not have worked with these muscles before. So the Mula Bandha is actually what we call a root lock. So Bandha is Sanskrit for lock, and Mula is Sanskrit for root. So it's a root lock. And this locking that we're going to be doing is also going to sort of tickle the chakra, so to speak. It's going to get that wheel turning, get it lubricated. So the Mula Bandha we're working now, the location, remember me talking about, it's this space between, I have to say it in a posh, like your anus and your sexual organs. But we're going to be working with these muscles anyway, because they're so strongly linked, and it's not until you practice this a lot you begin to find this hidden muscle working there. So actually what we're going to be doing is holding and retaining this muscle. So as you're sat where you are now in front of me, if you were to squeeze up your pelvic floor muscle for me, and your bottom and your anus, you're going to squeeze up those muscles. Now your pelvic floor muscle, if you're not sure what that is, if you were to go for a wee and then you stop that wee, that's your pelvic floor muscle. You might need to brush off a bit of dust down there. So yes, you're pulling up your pelvic floor muscle and your anus. I'm sorry, that word is just so funny to say to me, but you're pulling up both those muscles and you feel this tightness down below inside your pelvis. The Mula Bandha lock that we're going for is actually kind of located, the muscle's sort of in between these two. It's sort of hidden between the two. So eventually, it probably won't be today unless you're a very experienced practitioner, but eventually these two muscles won't actually need to be engaged, because you'll be somehow feeling this lock and rise up, and that is very much linked to your Mula Bandha, to your Muladhara chakra, sorry. But for now, these two are significant to work with. So as you're there here with me, squeeze them both up so you feel this root lock. Now the interesting thing is, often when we try the Mula Bandha for the first time, and not just the first time, we tend to squeeze it up, and then the face tends to squeeze up, and so does the rest of the body. So the art in working with bandhas and Mula Bandhas and working with helping to balance these chakras is squeeze up the necessary muscles, but relax the unnecessary muscles. So can you relax your face? Can you relax your jaw? Can you relax your brow? Relax the space in between your brows. Relax your shoulders. That's a big one. Relax your chest. Still be upright if you can. Relax your ribs. Relax your tummy. And just in the pelvis. Relax your thighs as well. Your thighs tend to sort of cling when we pull up those muscles. So just slowly start peeling back the muscles that you don't need to engage. And then just have the ones inside your pelvis squeezing up. Okay, so with the Mula Bandha, your stage 1 is just squeezing up, and now relax. So relax everything, let it all go. And you tend to notice when you release it, how many more muscles you were probably tensing at the same time. That's your stage 1, is pulling up, holding, getting a feel for it, and releasing it when you're ready. Stage 2, we synchronize this movement with the breath. So stage 2, you will inhale, engage your Mula Bandha. As you exhale, relax your Mula Bandha. Again, stage 2, inhale, squeeze up your Mula Bandha. As you exhale, relax your Mula Bandha. Now, just giving you a heads up, incontinence is really, really common with this. So please don't worry if you suddenly think, oh, I gotta go to the loo. It doesn't matter. You're starting that exercise, and it's very, very good for your incontinence. It's very good for strengthening those muscles. This is a brilliant exercise in yoga for anything down there. Really, really helps to strengthen all of that. Stage 3, for those of you that are aware of Mula Bandha and have been doing it a while, is you engage Mula Bandha and you keep it engaged as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in, still retaining it. Breathing out. One more round of breath, still retaining your Mula Bandha. Inhale. Exhale. And let it go. Okay, so that's your stage 1, is just playing with it. Stage 2, we synchronize to the breath. And stage 3 is you're constantly holding on to it whilst you carry on breathing, talking. I will be doing that. So pick a stage that's going to work for you, and then we'll just do a couple of those together as well. I'm going to go with stage 2 in the middle, because I find synchronizing to the breath, I find that works really, really nicely for me. I'm not quite at stage 3 yet. If you're new to this, just have a play and relax and release it when you feel ready, okay? So nice tall spine, sitting upright, relax your shoulders. You want to feel your chest up and your shoulders down. That's your classic one here, sitting comfortably. Okay, so try to relax all the unnecessary muscles even as you're sat here. And now engage your Mula Bandha. So squeeze up your pelvic floor, squeeze up your bottom, your anus. Squeeze up really nice and tight. And you're holding for me for now. As you're holding, can you start to peel back those layers of relaxing the unnecessary muscles? So especially in the face, relax your brow, relax your jaw, relax your cheeks, relax your tongue, relax those shoulders, relax your belly, relax your thighs, your knees, your feet. Relax, but keep that Mula Bandha nice and engaged, nice and tight there. And now let it go. Let's do it to the breath. Inhale, engage your Mula Bandha. Relax everything else. Exhale, release your Mula Bandha. Inhale, engage your Mula Bandha. Relax everything else. Shoulders down, belly, thighs, knees, feet, face. Exhale, relax your Mula Bandha. One more round of breath here. Inhale. Squeeze it up. Exhale, let it go. Nice. Good effort. Now I want to teach you one more thing with the Mula Bandha here. Is there's different levels of letting go and tightness. And I was taught this in my pregnancy yoga teachers training, so it's really, really good. This practice if you're pregnant as well, maybe in the earlier stages of pregnancy. So your second trimester is always a really safe place to work with this kind of stuff. But feeling into different levels. So imagine like you're in a lift or an elevator, and we're going up to 5 levels. So these 5 levels are 5 levels of strength, of squeezing up your Mula Bandha. So if you get to number 5 in the elevator, you're pulling on as tight as you can, and then we're going to be releasing down, down, up, 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 down, 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 up, up, up. And this is really good practice for those muscles to sort of wake up and engage. So imagine you're stepping into that elevator, relax, nice tall spine, and we're going to go up to level 3. So squeeze up your Mula Bandha, relax, but squeeze it up to a level 3 where you know you could squeeze tighter if you need to. Holding here, relax. Let's go down to level 2, relax a little bit more. Let's go up to level 4, squeeze it up a bit more. Relax back to level 3. And let's go up to level 5. So you're squeezing as tight as you can, but relax your face, shoulders, thighs, feet. Oh, there's the penthouse. Squeeze it up even a little bit more so you can always push yourself a little bit more. Up into the penthouse. Relax everything else. And we go down to level 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ground floor. Oh, there's a basement level. Oh, can you relax even more? Let it go, and release the exercise. So it's interesting when we were taught the penthouse and even the basement level, how there's always one step further you can go, and you don't realise how caught up you are, and how much tighter you can go and how much you can actually release. So that's a really good exercise that you can do to connect to your Mula Bandha, to strengthen those muscles down there. So everything you're feeling and that's going on down there, that's your Mula Bandha, that's your energy down there. Okay, so with each chakra I'm going to teach you what's known as a mudra. A mudra is a hand position. So your hands are very, very powerful tools in your body. They are related to, if you ever do healing work, it's going to be through your hands. It's very much, these are very powerful doorways into your body. And it's also where we tend to communicate a lot with our hands and with our arms. Like I say, we can be touchy-feely people, we can touch people. That's a lot of your energy that transitions onto others, but you're also absorbing as well. So these are really, really interesting doorways. So when we do different hand positions, they represent intentions. They represent the power of holding this intention inside your body and communicating it out to the universe, okay? So each chakra has a different hand position, which is really nice. So I'm going to teach you the root chakra, which is very traditional, as you will probably know from films or whatever. And it's your thumb and your index finger just touch like this. So you see a lot of people sort of meditating like this, and it is representing your root chakra, your Muladhara chakra. So the idea behind this is you're retaining the energy, because we release a lot of energy with the hands open. It's very nice to sort of tap these two to have a retention of energy going, looping back round and going back into the body as well. So this represents your Muladhara chakra. So your hands might just rest like this in your lap. If you're meditating, for example, the hands might be out this way, but yes, it's representing that chakra down there. As I mentioned, the colour is red. There is also a mantra. A mantra is like a song, it's like a rhythm that comes out of your mouth that represents each chakra. So we are working with LAM, L-A-M. Lam. Lam represents your Muladhara chakra. So for this exercise, what we're going to do is have the hand position, relax it in your laps, envisioning the colour red, and we're just going to chant together Lam 3 times. So take a deep inhale. Lam. 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 Is your Muladhara chakra. Moving on to the next one. Ooh, better speed things up because I could just talk forever. So now we come into the pelvis region. So we've been working right down the bottom of the spine, right down at the bottom of the body, and we're now moving into your pelvis. So very much into this channel here. And the word is known as Svadhisthana. Sva meaning self, Dhisthana, emotional seat. Svadhisthana. So the element we're working now is water. This is a very wishy-washy area, and it will all make sense when I explain in a bit more detail. The colour is orange, and the location, as I mentioned, is inside of your pelvis. So this is very much linked to your sexual organs, okay? So it gets a little bit spicy now. The petals we work with is 6, so we've increased from 4 to 6. And that was really interesting researching into that. So each petal has a different meaning, and this one very much represented the 7 deadly sins. And when I looked into it actually, because I was like, well, there's 7, but there's 6 petals. Each one is written on the petals, and then one is written in the centre as well. So that is your vanity, envy, gluttony, lust, anger, and greed, and sloth. So I'm not sure which one was in the centre or whatever, but this is what it's going to represent. So that is representing when this area is out of balance, and it is all linked to your emotions. All of those are linked to the ego and to the emotions. So those 6 petals is almost a teaching of try to keep this under control. These are the golden pieces of nastiness that are going to take you into an imbalance in this area. So I think the reason why it's written on the petals is it's meant to be quite a strong message to say, stay away from these, because they will get you lost, and they will make you not feel good. Okay, so just those again: vanity, being vain, envious, gluttony, lust, anger, greed, and sloth. Okay, So your Svadhisthana chakra controls the emotions, your social behaviour, and your instincts. So it's a very, very powerful area, and I think the water element is so relevant here because water is difficult to contain, isn't it? It's difficult. If you're picturing putting your hands into a bowl of water and picking up the water, it's difficult to hold that water in your hand. It's slipping through the cracks into your hands, into the shapes. It molds into whatever shape it's given that picks it up. So whatever shape of bowl or beaker or glass or whatever, it's fluid, so it's always going to form and sit into a shape. So it's very flexible in that sense, but it's also it can escape very easily. Think about the weather as well. Think about taking your awareness out into the middle of the ocean when there's storms going on. So the ocean is never perfectly still, is it? It's always either going to be with a slight ripple to it, or it's going to be crazy and crashing about, and it can be very, very dangerous. Thinking about tidal waves, thinking about storms which have destroyed ships in the past and taken lives away. The water element is a very, very powerful element to work with. So understanding when that's linked to our emotions, it kind of makes sense. Sometimes it can be out of control and all over the place, and other times it's a lot more smoother and more calm. So this is a very challenging area to work with. So when this area is in balance, we feel into our creativity, social integration, sexual energy, pleasure, fantasy, and imagination. So it's wonderful. Beautiful things blossom out of this area when it's feeling in balance. However, when it's out of balance, we can feel very confused, jealous, and we can get very depressed as well. So it has a tendency to swing not in our favour. They all do. They all have their imbalances, these chakras, but this is a big one, and a lot of us are going to understand and link to what I'm talking about because we are very emotional beings. This is what separates us from being a human being to being an animal, is even though it's proven that animals do have emotional attachment, but nowhere near on the level as a human being. This is what makes us so unique. And when you can really mould your water, when you can really mould and retain it and gain control, you feel into a lot more power as a person. You feel closer to an animal, if that makes sense. Animals are a huge inspiration of how to be and how to let go and how to live in the present moment. So your water element is a big one to work with to control, and especially when we're hormonal as well, very hormonal. So coming back to because this area controls our emotions, our social behaviour, and our instincts. Now, we also have that basic animal instinct to breed. So on a very biological level, man is designed to spread his seed. Fact. And women is designed to be impregnated and to breed and to produce children and nurse them. So that is very much our instinct. It's our basic instinct for survival to the human race. We feel this loyalty to the human race. I mean, it's a fact. It's just ingrained into our DNA. That's what we naturally want to do. And it's not until we find that we're working away from this and getting lost into our emotions that you get pulled away from this natural drive. And it's not to say that's how you have to be, but it is your basic instinct. So yes, this seat, this emotional seat, this area inside your groin, inside your pelvis, is linked to all of us. So that's why you can feel this massive desire to breed. That's where it comes from, and I've never known it so strongly since I've had my little baby boy. I've never known such a biological driving force within me to know what to do. And any mother watching this video will know that instinct to protect your child. Oh, you don't mess with that. You do not cross paths between a mother and her baby. She will fight tooth and nail. I always remember my mum saying, oh, you'd kill for your children. You would actually kill in order to make sure that they were perfectly fine if you feel like you had to. And it's quite scary thinking about that, but it feels like an instinct. It really is very, very strongly there. So yes, this feel to breed and protect your baby and your tribe, your clan. Very understandable. Okay, so I want to come into another exercise to help ignite this area. Now, I always remember my yoga teacher teaching me when I did my yoga teacher's training, and we were quite fortunate actually. Our all the postures, all the asanas, I'll show you a little picture I've got here, that we were trained to do. We were actually taught which of these postures, which of these shapes ignite which chakra inside the body. So it was really, really interesting to be educated on that and work with the chakras. So I do love talking about this because chakras has been a huge part of me understanding yoga. But yes, it's very interesting because actually of the physical postures, there was only one that activated your Svadhisthana chakra, and out of all of them, you know, to have only one that did that, which is Shalabhasana, which is the locust pose, probably because you're pretty much balancing on your vagina or your penis for this pose. It's quite intense. But I remember asking, well, why is there only one posture to activate this area? And he said, well, Pip, if you think about it, we are very, very emotional beings. We don't really need to work on this area to activate it. It's already very, very active. And if anything, it needs reining in. Which I thought was very, very interesting, very wise teaching of that, and I understand it very much now because we are very emotional beings. It's not like we need to be trained to be more emotional. It's there. It's all within you. I mean, how we deal with our emotions is a different matter, and how we express them again is a different matter. But they are all there, whether it's locked inside or coming out and uncontrollably. We are emotional beings. So there isn't a lot to do there. So actually, interestingly, I've chosen an exercise to do the Mula Bandha again. So that's the same one as we did in the previous chakra for the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. But what we're going to do is mentally picture something else, which is going to help with this area, help with this retention. So by working with the Mula Bandha, but tailoring it to work with your sexual energy and with your emotional energy, it can really, really help with sexual imbalances like frustration or suppression or guilt, etc. So we are very, very sexual beings, and actually a lot of driving forces and things that we do and the way that we behave can have a lot of sexual energy behind that driving force as well. It's just the way we are. It's just the way we're designed. So there's nothing wrong with it, but gaining control of that and working with that, because it's very powerful. Sexual energy is mighty, mighty powerful. I mean, think about Marilyn Monroe and the effect she had on the world, the whole world. She was the sexual icon. Total icon to the whole planet Earth. Everybody, or nearly everybody on planet Earth, knew who Marilyn Monroe was, and that's because she knew how to create this sexual persona, this power about her. And men and women, and this is in the 50s, men and women desired her. She was just this being, this amazing being. And I think there's been elements of this Marilyn Monroe in loads of other people that have sort of represented this sexual energy, but there's never obviously been another Marilyn Monroe, and I personally see like she is the icon of that energy in abundance. Whether she was playing up to it or whether she was actually that way, you know, regardless, is she put on this persona, she put this energy out there to the universe. So yes, this Mula Bandha, because it's about locking in and retaining and working and building strength here, I think that will work really, really nicely, because this area tends to be so sensitive, incredibly sensitive. So yes, I want to work with this. And what have I got written here? So send the energy down for marital relations and up for spiritual development. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so when we're going to feel into this root lock, the whole idea of these chakras and this journey of the lotus bud is we're working up to the spiritual self. So the direction of the arrow is pointing up, and the higher up you go and the more energies you work up this way, the more spiritual and more in balance you're going to be. but actually, because we're working specifically with the Svadhisthana chakra, I'm going to want you to feel into sending the energy down. Down towards the earth, so you're grounding down the energy. And it's interesting working with the earth element of your Muladhara chakra and the water element of your Svadhisthana. The earth is thirsty for water, okay, because that's going to feed, that's vitality for that grounding down chakra. So by sending that water element down, by grounding down the energy, it's going to help produce a balance there, okay. It's going to help feed into the earth to help your roots to grow deeper and longer and be more healthy for your tree. Okay, if that makes sense, then that's what we're going to work with. So finding your seated position, and before we go into that, I'm also going to teach you the hand shape as well, so we can really represent that energy. So for your Svadhisthana chakra, I will read it out. Place hands in your lap with your palms facing upwards. The right palm rests on top of your left. Okay, and then your thumbs are going to touch together. Okay, so palms up, right hand on top of the left, thumbs touch, and you rest that in your lap. Okay, so that represents your Svadhisthana chakra. The colour we're working with is orange, and the mantra, so the words that represent this area is VAM. V-A-M, VAM. Okay, so what we're going to do is the Muladhara chakra, Muladhara lock. Sorry. So you're going to squeeze up your pelvic floor, squeeze up your anus, relax your shoulders, relax your face, but keep squeezing up. Breathe. Breathe normally, keep squeezing, keep having that hand position in your lap. Keep that squeezing up. Okay, now relax, release, take a break. Let's go again. Squeeze it up. Let's go right up to the penthouse. But relax your face, your jaw, your shoulders, thighs, feet. Squeeze it up. Up to the penthouse. Keep squeezing, but imagine you're sending the energy down. Just picture the water element in your pelvis starts to release and feed the earth. But keep hold. Physically, you're on the root lock. Physically, you're squeezing up, but you're imagining water releasing down. It's quite a lot for me to ask you to do, especially in the mind. Keep squeezing. Keep breathing. Relax. Keep squeezing. Relax the unnecessary muscles. Keep squeezing for me. You're doing good. With that going on, we're going to chant VAM 3 times. Here we go. Inhale. VAM. 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 And relax. Release your Mula Bandha. Release the hand shape. Release and relax all your muscles. Well done. Very good. Okay, moving on to the next chakra. So it's quite interesting now. I've got you engaged. You're starting to get it. Starting to learn a bit more. It's exciting. Okay, we're going up a level now. We're going into the belly, into your belly chakra. So this is known as your Manipura chakra. Translation: Mani means gem, as in gems, diamonds. And Pura means city, so they call it the city of gems, the city of jewels as well. I'm not entirely sure why, actually. I forgot to look into that, if I'm honest, but it is known as the city of jewels, the city of gems. And the element we're working now is fire, heat. Okay, the colour is yellow. And the location, as I mentioned, is right into your belly. So this is going to be linking to your bowels. So behind your bowels, or directly in front of your bowels, is your Manipura chakra. We have gone up from 6 petals to 10 petals. So there's now 10 petals around the symbol of the Manipura chakra. And they represent the bodily functions. So the functions of the body, such as, I don't know them all off by heart actually, I didn't write them down, but it's, I think we're working with the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the digestive system. Yeah, I'm just going to stop there and just tell you it means bodily functions. Translation, so what does your Manipura chakra do? It is the area of transformation and for burning matter. So fire turns solid matter into something more refined, doesn't it? So if you're thinking about putting logs in the fire, by the end of a fire it's all ash. And that's what we're talking about. So whatever you're feeding into the flames is going to burn up and change. So the matter, the substance changes, the matter changes from a solid to a more refined material. When this area is in balance, when it's working, when the wheel is turning and it's lubricated, we feel courage, we feel willpower, we feel leadership, enthusiasm and strength. It's a very strong driving force in your belly. This area, it's very igniting, okay? However, when this area is out of balance, when the wheel is stuck and it's not quite turning right, then we can feel anger. And that makes sense, we're working with a fire element here, so this is when you've got too much of a rush in this area. So anger is what ignites in your belly. Stubbornness. Oh, have I felt into that as well? Stubbornness and being egotistical. So when you get big-headed, oh, I am amazing because of this, and when you think you're all that, that's all to do with your belly chakras, when that area is got too many flames here. Okay. Now, the exercise we're going to work with is something known as the Uddiyana Bandha. Uddhi means rising, Yana means path, Bandha means lock, which we're aware of. So it's known as the rising path lock. So what we will be doing is you work with the core muscles. So whenever you go to it could be a yoga class, Pilates class, whenever you go and do exercise and you're working on your core muscles, so you're working on the muscles inside of your tummy, this is directly linked to your Manipura chakra. And it's so interesting how this area can ignite your brain and ignite the ego, the flames. You know, you can sort of work out this area too much, and then you can spend too long in the front of the mirror, you know, looking at yourself and seeing how strong and amazing you are and your abs and all of that. So it's so interesting how when you overwork that area, how we can get a bit big-headed about it. It's all very, very strongly linked. Fascinating. I absolutely love this concept. It just it really resonates with me. It makes a lot of sense. So yes, we are working with the core muscle here, and with the Uddiyana Bandha, what is happening is it is working with your core muscle in a certain way, that it locks in a certain way, and it activates this area quite mysteriously. Which I'm looking forward to teaching you about. So just before I teach you how to do the Uddiyana Bandha, I'm going to tell you about the colours, the hand gestures, the shapes and the sound. So what we are, so to read it out loud, place hands between your heart and your stomach. So that's here. And what you do is the hands are just pressing together like this, and then the thumbs cross on the top. So again, it's right thumb over the left. I don't think that's 100% necessary, but it's like you're pointing this shape directly out from your stomach. So that is the mudra, that is the hand shape that represents your Manipura chakra. And I think it does make sense because there's a lot of power from the fire, the furnace in your belly. You know, it fires out from the centre of you very much so. So this does represent that. The colour, as I mentioned, is yellow. So if you're working with colours and you like that sort of a connection to bringing balance to yourself, draw in the colour yellow, or just imagine yellow around you or inside you, things like that. And the mantra, the words that we work with is RAM, 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 ram is what we're working with. Okay, so with the exercise of the Uddiyana Bandha, what's going to happen is, I'm going to show you, getting serious now. So because we're working with the core muscle, I'm going to have to show you my tummy. Oh, you lucky people. Right. So, with the core muscle, so when you're relaxing and pushing your belly out, you can sort of imagine like you would be pregnant and you would, relax it. You're pushing your belly out and away. And then when you're engaging your core muscle, you feel it suck in, okay? So somebody really good looking just walked past. You're going to squeeze it in and squeeze it up as well, okay? So that's working with your Muladhara chakra. Working with your Manipura chakra. So the Uddiyana Bandha is about squeezing it in and up, but creating a shape with your spine that encourages that action to be more pronounced, okay? So I'm going to show you as best as I can from a side angle. And what it is I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale and get rid of all of my breath. Still got my breath so I can talk. And then all my breath is going to come out and I'm going to squeeze my belly in and up. And because I'm going to create this sort of shape with my spine, you're going to see a very hollow shape inside the belly. And what it does is it really forces that pressure onto your Manipura chakra to activate as quickly as possible. So here we go. Without me talking, let me show. Breath comes in. Sorry, I realised my arm was in the way, so I'm going to do that again. So I'll be at slightly this sort of angle. Okay, it looks a bit freaky, but I promise you it's absolutely fine, okay? And I can show you safe ways of doing this. Here we go again. My breath is going to come in. Breath comes all the way out. So you see my ribs, you see how the belly like completely concaves in and it draws up, and it can feel very, very strange when you're first doing it. The third time I'm going to show you is I'm going to stand up and come at a distance so you can see it a little bit better as well. Okay, here we go again. Again, please just be watching, don't copy me just yet unless you're experienced in this, okay? So breath comes in, breath comes all the way out. Breath comes in, I let it out and relax. Now, the idea behind this is, as you saw I was standing, it's intensified the higher up you are. So to keep it safe and keep it mellow, stay seated with your bottom on the seat or sat on the floor. If you want a bit more intensity, then you come up onto your knees, because you can feel quite lightheaded with it, okay? This is called a pranayama, and a lock at the same time, because you're breathing and applying this lock in your body, a physical lock. It has strong effects on us, okay? So on your knees is stage 2, and stage 3 will be standing, but it's more intense and you might feel a bit like, ooh, at the end of that. So if you're experienced with this, you can do stage 2 or 3. If you've never done this before, it's really important to stay sat down, okay? All right, so let's give it a go, shall we? So I'm going to do it on my knees up so you can see me, but actually please be sat down if you're new. So just take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do one more together. Inhale, relax. Exhale. Okay, so Inhale, we prepare. Nice tall spine. Exhale, get rid of all your breath. Get it out. Breath comes all the way out. Hold it. Squeeze your belly in. Suck it in. Suck it up. Hollow over your back a little bit. Hold. Relax the belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And take a few breaths in between. This might be a bit like, not sure about this. It takes a while to get used to. But you can almost feel like when you're doing the lock, it can, because all the breath is out, you can feel a bit like, and all you need to do to stop the exercise is breathe in. Okay, you just relax everything. It takes practice, you guys. But when the breath comes out, because your diaphragm is at the bottom of your lungs. So when you inhale, the diaphragm drops because it's expanding the lungs to get more breath in. And when all the breath comes out, your diaphragm lifts. And that's what we want, is we want the diaphragm up so that we can draw the belly in, push against the Manipura chakra, squeeze it up. So then it's really getting pulled in nice and tight. And that's why you feel that desperation, because your chakra's like, oh, I want some air, I want some oxygen into the body, I want to feed the flames. And then the breath comes in, and then suddenly the after effects take place. Okay, let's do another one together. Here we go. Sat down or on knees if you're feeling okay. Breath comes in. Breath comes out. Here we go. Breathe in to prepare. Exhale, get all the breath out. Hunch over a bit. Hold out the breath. Pull it in. Here we go. Uddiyana Bandha. Relax belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. It's intense, isn't it? A couple more breaths whilst you're relaxing. I'm going to go straight into round 3. If you're feeling a little bit dizzy and a little bit strange, don't do it yet, or do it a little bit later. Otherwise, here we go. Together if you can. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, relax. Here we go. Inhale. Get all the breath out. Keep it out. Uddiyana Bandha. Squeeze it up and in. Inhale. Exhale. Well done. So that is your Uddiyana Bandha, and it's powerful, especially the more you keep doing it. Brilliant for your bowels, brilliant to keep things moving in terms of food working around the body, brilliant energetically to charge up your Manipura chakra. Okay, let's come on to our little chant before we move on to the next chakra. So making that arrow shape, palms together in between heart and belly, cross the thumbs, right over left. Relax your shoulders, tall spine. Gonna chant Ram, R-A-M, 3 times. Inhale. Ram, Ram, Ram. Well done. And that is your Manipura chakra.